What is grass? Before we get into the peculiar world of lawn care, let's cover some basics. What exactly is grass? Grass is the common name for the Gramineae family of plants. With more than 9,000 known species, this family is one of the largest on Earth. Grass is extremely important to most people's lives, whether they know it or not. For one thing, grass is a major food source all over the world. Rice, corn, and oats come from grass plants, for example. And most livestock animals feed primarily on grasses. In some parts of the world, people use grass plants in construction. Bamboo is grass, for example. And whether it grows, grass plays a vital role in curbing erosion. Grass is also used to make sugar, liquor, bread, and plastics, among many other things. Grasses have a very simple structure and a very simple way of life. You can better grasp what grass needs when you understand how it actually functions in the world. At the base of the grass plant, roots grow down into the earth. Typically, grass roots are fibrous or thread-like. They extend into the soil like fingers, collecting nutrients, soaking up water, and securing the plant to the ground. Grass stems, more commonly known as culms, grow up from the base of the plant. In most grass species, the culms are hollow and rigid, except at the nodes, joints that join stem segments together. Narrow leaves extend out from the culms above each node. The leaves alternate in direction. That is, if the first leaf in a culm grows to the right, the second leaf will go to the left, and the third leaf will go to the right, and so on. The lower part of the leaf is called the sheath, and the upper part is called the blade. In most grasses, a ligule surrounds the connection between the sheath and the blade. A ligule can take the form of a thin membrane or a fringe of hair-like projection. Like the leaves on a tree, grass leaves serve to collect energy from sunlight through photosynthesis. Photosynthesizing chlorophyll in the leaf gives grass its green color. There are two major methods of reproduction in grasses. Some grasses have additional stems that grow sideways, either below ground or just above it. Stems that creep along the ground are called stolons, and stems that grow below ground are called rhizomes. Grasses use stolons and rhizomes to reach out and establish new grass culms. The stolon or rhizomes nurtures the new plant until it is strong enough to survive on its own. Grasses also have flowers. The small flowers in most grass species are known as florets. Florets grow together in small groups called spikelets, which collectively form inflorescences. Flowers produce the spores that pollinate other flowers, which produce seeds. With any luck, some of the seeds will grow new healthy grass plants. In some grasses, such as corn, the stem and the flowering part of the plant are obvious, but in lawn grasses, the long thin leaves overshadow the other elements of the plant. Unless you're up close, all you see is the green stalks. Like most plants, grass needs three things to thrive. It needs sunlight, water, and nutrients. Another key feature of grass is that it needs to be mostly free of destructive elements, such as weeds, disease, or bugs. No amount of water and sunlight will make your lawn luscious and green if you have poor soil, so this will be a good place to start. A grass plant's backbone is its root system. The roots soak up water, collect nutrients, anchor the plant, and, in some species, spread out to grow new plants. A plant can only do these things effectively if the soil is right. The soil needs to be loose enough that the grass roots can spread easily, absorbent enough that it will collect water, and rich enough that it can provide the plants with nutrients. Roots also need a certain amount of circulating air, which means the soil can't be too compact. Ideally, you want loam soil that has roughly equal amounts of silt, sand, and clay. Loam is fairly loose, but it has enough clay to absorb water effectively. The soil's pH rating is also very important. This rating tells you the relative acidity and alkalinity of the soil. The ideal pH level is around 6.5 or 7, but levels vary between different grass species and climate conditions. You can find out your soil's pH level with a home test or a professional test. To establish a beautiful lawn, you need to choose an appropriate type of grass. There are two major factors in this decision. One is your local climate, average rainfall, heat, etc. Another one is the amount of sunlight your lawn gets. Cool season grasses, such as Kentucky bluegrass, hold up well to cold winters, but don't do well in very hot weather. Warm season grasses, such as Bermuda grass, love heat and sunlight. Commercial grass seed is usually a mixture or a blend of species. Mixtures are combinations of different species of grass. The various species all have different strengths and weaknesses, so collectively they hold up to do just about anything. Blends are combinations of different variations of the same type of grass. Blends are combinations of different varieties of the same type of grass. Blends are not as adaptable as mixtures, but they are generally more attractive because of their uniformity. Most grass species need direct sunlight several hours a day to thrive, but you can seed heartier grass that does well in the shade. If your lawn is completely covered in shade, consider another sort of ground cover. It's also important to pick a species that does well with the amount of water in your area. Water-loving grass species will do terribly in drought-prone areas, and some grasses develop fungal disease in very wet areas. Additionally, consider how you treat the grass. Some grasses hold up to heavy traffic, and some don't. If you have kids and outdoor pets, you definitely need a resilient mixture. Once you've chosen a good grass, you need to decide how to plant it. If you're starting a new lawn from scratch, or overhauling an ailing one, you'll need to add grass. There are three ways to go about this: seeding, planting grass seeds in the soil; sodding, laying out chunks of turf containing healthy grass plants; or adding plugs or sprigs, which are transplanting individual grass plants or small sections of grass and soil. The most common method, and cheapest, is seeding. When planting new seed, select a good species or mix for your area. Look for a high-quality seed. Don't go for the cheapest option. Check with the local garden center to find out the best time to seed in your area. To seed, first mix any topsoil, fertilizer, or compost into your existing soil using a rotary tiller. Then, use a rake or board scraper to level the soil. This minimizes bumps and holes, which make mowing more difficult. Next, scatter the seed, either by hand or with a mechanical spreader. The seed bag should tell you roughly how many seeds to use in a given area. Compact the seeds with a lawn roller. Rake the seeded area to lightly cover about half the seeds with soil. Cover the lawn with a little bit of mulching material, such as straw. Soak the seeded area and water regularly until the grass starts to come in. Sodding is much more expensive than seeding, but you get instant results. With sodding, you can go from an anemic, patchy lawn to a rich green lawn in a day, whereas it may take years for a seeded lawn to grow in completely. Sod arrives in a rolled-up rectangular chunk, about an inch thick. Before you have the sod delivered, you should prepare the soil in the same way you would for all seeding. All you have to do when the sod arrives is lay it out over the soil in straight rows. Stagger the sod chunks like you would stagger bricks in a wall. Fill in any gaps between the sod pieces with soil. Compact the sod with a lawn roller and you're done. Water the sod regularly until it is well established. It's a good idea not to walk on the sod at first. Grass sprigs, individual grass plants, and plugs, small sections of soil and grass, are a huge mail-order business. You specify the area of your lawn, and the company sends you the right number of live grass plants. Planting sprigs and plugs gets faster results than seeding, but is more expensive and takes much more work. To plant sprigs and plugs, prepare the soil just like you were seeding or sodding, then dig regularly spaced holes, 6 to 12 inches, or 15 to 30 centimeters apart, depending on your grass species. Fill them with water and insert the plants. Fill in loose soil around the plants and press them into the ground. You have to water regularly and keep weeds at bay while the plants roots spread in the soil. In mail-order grass, such as zoysia, the stolons branch out quickly to grow new grass plants. In the next episode, we will be discussing fertilizers and other lawn maintenance. However, for the meantime, you could perhaps watch one of these two videos that are on your screen at the moment.